Welcome to your next objective. As military members and first responders, you already know the day's coming. Maybe it's 10 years out. Maybe it's closer than you planned. Either way, the uniform doesn't stay on forever. And these careers, they aren't usually the ones where you get the gold watch and ride off into the sunset. We exit with a lot of working years ahead of us, and we bring some significantly valuable skills and abilities to our next environments. Transition isn't a single event. It's a psychological process, and it starts long before you turn in your gear or walk out the gate for the last time. And most people don't realize that until they're already in it. That's what this podcast is about. However, if you've been listening for a while, you remember these episodes by their previous name, Tactical Transition Tips. And to be honest, that was a bit of a tongue twister. Try being the one having to regularly say it during recordings. I'm also acknowledging some of the comments I've received. And yes, maybe the title was a bit cheesy. Either way, the new brand is Your Next Objective. And also, now it's its own podcast. So finding episodes will be much easier for you. On the other hand, if you're new here, let me tell you why I care about this so much. I'm a retired commander, and I spent over 30 years in law enforcement. I worked different assignments and led units made up of amazing men and women. However, in that time, I also watched something similar happen over and over again. Strong people, capable people, people who were great at their jobs, all waiting too long to think about what comes next. Because when you're good at what you do, or in some cases, you're burned out and have lost track of the future, it's easy to stay focused on today. Thinking about transition, that feels like something you'll deal with later. Until later, slams into you like a Mack truck. I don't want that experience to be your experience. These episodes grew from my original podcast, Transition Drill, where I interview veterans and first responders about their transitions as well as their experiences moving into the civilian world. However, I created these to get specific transitioning information out to you in short and direct episodes. So here we are. Same mission, same format, just a new name. And everything about this podcast comes back to one simple truth. At some point, you won't be doing this job anymore. That's just a reality. So you need to be thinking about and planning for your exit right now. I can't stress this enough. Don't put off preparing. Because being in these careers tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Additionally, preparation doesn't look the same for everyone. Some of you, you're less than a year out. I call you the close range group. Some of you have 3 to 5 years left. You're the medium range group. And some of you are early in your careers. Maybe you're even brand new. Your transition is a decade or more over the horizon. You're the long range group. However, there's something else you need to understand. Regardless of what your transition window is right now, you don't have to like it, but these careers also have the ability to throw a monkey wrench in the mix. And your transition can be dropped in your lap unannounced, without the courtesy of asking you first, which is another reason why you need to be planning for it today. But no matter what, preparation looks different depending on how far you are from your exit. If you're close, you need clarity and action. If you're in the last few years, you need perspective and strategic thinking. And if you're way off, you need identity depth and long-term awareness. That's exactly what these episodes are built to address. Every week, they focus on a topic or an issue that's specific to and can affect your transition. I then correlate the corresponding tips across the 3 transition groups I previously mentioned. It's practical advice and recommendation based on my experience, what I learned talking with my guests and those hiring and working in the civilian world, as well as, believe it or not, reading and doing research on current practices and trends. The podcast exists to make sure that later doesn't sneak up on you. My aim is to make sure that when the time does come, whether it's your choice or it chooses you, you're not starting your planning from scratch. Preparing yourself to leave, but more importantly, positioning yourself with options should an unexpected opportunity present itself, is not disloyal. Thinking beyond today or what's right in front of you doesn't mean you're checking out. It's simply leadership of yourself. And that starts with how you think about your future. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, be your best advocate. That often gets referred to in the medical field or medical situations, but that should be your life referral. You need to always be your best today, but at the same time, build exits and off-ramps for when tomorrow shows up. And this next part is for my defined leaders, those of you with rank. You already understand that being a good leader means planning for contingencies before they happen. Well, another aspect of contingency planning involves your teams. You have the responsibility to those in your command to encourage them to be looking at tomorrow as well as today. The bottom line is, for each of you listening or watching, this podcast is about who you're becoming. While you continue to serve, the question is always whether you're building in one direction or in multiple. One direction keeps you effective right now. Multiple directions better prepares you for what's next. And you can do multiple. That's the point of this podcast. So again, if you've been listening since the beginning, nothing is changing other than the name. There's still going to be weekly episodes. So please give a follow wherever you're listening or watching right now so that you'll be notified when new episodes are released. And if you're not already, please sign up for my weekly newsletter. It complements and expands on the episode's topic, as well as giving you some additional information on transition planning. I encourage you to sign up. There's a link in the show notes. Your next objective isn't a random name choice. And because your next objective is on its way, it shouldn't surprise you, nor should any apprehension control you. You should see it coming. Do everything you can to shape it, but more important, be ready for it. That's what we're doing here. So please, listen weekly. Take what applies to you. Ignore what doesn't. And start thinking one step further ahead than you did yesterday. You don't have to have everything figured out, but ignoring your transition doesn't mean it won't be here sooner than you realize. Welcome to your next objective. I hope you enjoy the episodes.